Isn't golf just a massive con at the minute? Aren't all these new clubs just exactly the same? Are you thinking about getting new golf irons? If you are, I'm going to share with you the reasons why I think you should. Yes, should get new golf irons. I'm also going to show you the difference between these three clubs spanning over 20 years in design. Money at the ready. Let's get some new irons. So the first reason you should be treating yourself to new clubs is because it is a treat. This is our leisure activity. We're lucky to be out here. We spend a lot of time doing things we don't really want to do and want to spend more time out here. So investing, enjoying, getting something that you really like and treating yourself in your leisure activity. We're not winning the Masters, the Open, we're here trying to enjoy ourselves. In the mud, in the grey skies, sometimes even in the sun. Yep, sometimes. Not enough times over here in England. Let's remember why we're out here and let's remember to enjoy it. Because there's plenty of times out here where it'll get a little tough. Swing changes can be a great reason why your irons might not suit your style of golf anymore. And when it comes to swing changes, that could mean simple changes in your grip. You've changed something in your setup. You've got a backswing change, a wrist angle change, an impact change, and that's the key change from all these things. If you do make a change to impact, so how you strike the ball, you're gonna find that you're gonna get different kind of flights and shapes, and different irons now might really start to appeal to you or not, from different offset to different chunkiness, ones that launch higher, ones that launch lower. And another key factor that links to this where things might change is you might have some irons from when you played when you were 20. You go and do the kids thing, the family thing, the travel thing, whatever, the work thing. You come back, you're now 35, maybe even 40. Like, who's 40? And you strutting around like you're that 25-year-old still with those old blades, and we're going to show you the test between old and new soon. It is hilarious. You might not be that golfer anymore. You might want something that inspires confidence. I, believe it or not, don't actually play golf that much. I've got game improvement irons for a number of reasons. One, for distance, but two, I like just to have as much help as I possibly can in my trips away. So when it comes to thickness of soles, top lines inspiring confidence that might encourage different launches, the different amounts of offset, so how much this is set back from this, that might promote different curvatures, having a lighter shaft, a thicker grip, a thinner grip, whatever it is, these things definitely might shift your needle and allow you to get out there and just enjoy golf as much as possible. Oh, get on the green. Another great reason to think about getting some new golf irons is because your gapping is just completely wrong. You might have bought these irons years ago where you were at these different speeds like we talked about, or you might have had an injury or just playing in a different way, and what you're finding is that your 6 iron and your 7 iron, your 6 iron and your 5 iron just seem to be the same club. Or you find that when you get to your longest iron, whatever it is, your 5 iron, your next club on from that, a hybrid or a fairway wood, there's just a huge gap that's developed. Often down at the wedges end the same things happen. You lose confidence in your chipping. As we age, we definitely can lose confidence in our chipping. And you might find some better wedges that sync with your irons might help you out. I've put a chipper in my golf bag. So when it comes to gapping, if you find that you get the tree of doom, as I call it, where you just get this bunching up at the top end, this is a great opportunity for you to start putting some different design clubs in. Again, different launching irons, different lofted irons that might move the ball on, might encourage you to find different distances with each club and not have 2 or 3 clubs in your bag that are basically the same thing and just taking up weight. So I think there's loads of reasons why you should be buying new irons and enjoying your golf more, but I think the tech is what's been sold so much at the minute, where I think it's actually the enjoyment factor in your personal performance is more important, as this test possibly shows. Right, so let's just go back in time. How far back in time do we have to go before really the clubs need changing? So I started off by hitting the Ping G430, this year's release, and I compared it to a very old, rusty Ping G30 from whoever in the comments wants to look up where that club is from. But it's a few years back. And I hit a good batch of shots with each club. What was interesting is definitely the newer club has got prettier in its looks. It's got a ferrule on it now where the old Pings didn't. It's kind of definitely refined its shaping, it's refined its feel. The new one felt way better than the old one. And you definitely, with the new one, you felt like you had that new shiny kind of treat like we talked about at the start. But as I was hitting, it was so interesting as the numbers kept coming out, I was just getting more and more shocked. Like, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I thought, how old actually is this club? To anyone in the comments who did guess, well done. If you're not, it was 2014. So it's like, what's that, 9 years ago? I would say that's quite an old club. So I thought, right, these numbers are crazy. I'm gonna now go to the Spalding iron, top flight Spalding iron. Rusty face, the lie of them didn't feel great. And with older clubs, again, these kind of, the way the club is set up can move over time, certainly as you're banging them in and out of your garages and lofts and cars and those kind of things, which is again another reason why I think about getting new sets. If your old set wasn't fit, a new set being fit might help you. And I hit a good batch of shots with the Spalding iron, and now I started to really see what was going on, and there was a glaring pattern forming. So the top flight was going way shorter, like you could just see it was way shorter. My ball speed was 109, it was carrying around 154 yards. This was a 7 iron in this club. It was kind of old money, old numbers. It felt old money, old numbers, like when you mishit it, cold frosty mornings. Ouch. Now I have done bigger tests with this club. It's quite interesting. If you match loft for loft, which this isn't, which we'll talk about in a second, you do get very similar results, but the feel and the looks were completely different. The Spalding felt very old. But what was really interesting was in the G30 to the G430, ball speeds, both 124 miles an hour. Launch angle, both touching 17 degrees. Spin rates within 200 revs of each other, 4.9 to 4.7. Carry distance, 185 and 185. They were identical. And even the drop-offs were exactly the same in those two clubs. But the really interesting thing with them was the modern club was a 7 iron and the older club was a 6 iron. To match them, I literally had to change, well, I had to match the loft. We had to ignore the numbers on the bottom. And this is why Bob, with his new clubs, might be hitting it further than you. You're out there playing with Bob and he's like banging it further and you're thinking, where's that coming from? He's got his new clubs, they're really great. He's a club longer than me now. Maybe he isn't. And what I think is really interesting with all these tests is it actually comes down to how you hit it. And if you want to start striking it better, this video is helping so many golfers.